Hope the stream is working. Oh no, why is the black screen? Uh-oh. Is it? Ah, there you go, it's working now. Okay, so welcome everyone to the season opener, season 8 in Phoenix. As you can see for today, we've got 19 drivers joining us, just about missing out on a full lobby, but nevertheless, these are some very talented drivers, and we are in China here for today, and I'm very much looking forward what a kind of battling we'll see. And keep in mind that the season opener is usually where you will see basically who your rivals are, who will be the one fighting for wins. So I'm very curious to see what the order will be. We've got many new drivers for the season and a couple of old drivers as well, but definitely many rapid drivers in this lobby as well. So I really do look forward to see what they have in store for us today. So the first driver to go out on track for a lap, I believe that is Arrow in their Mercedes. Yeah, I'm not sure if Arrow should be a full-time driver for Tier 2. I think, yes, he should be. But let's see what he can do. About to start his lap. Obviously, China has a pretty unique layout. The first couple of corners are so long, like it's like they take forever, and then we have that very long straight in Sector 3, which can give you plenty overtake opportunities in the race. But let's see, Arrow starting his lap now. Let's go on board with him for this lap. This is the very weird section. You can take multiple different lines for this section here. Yeah, you can take multiple different sections through that first sector, but purple sector 1 for Arrow, obviously first driver to start a lap, and in sector 2 is just all high speed corners. Really important you hit these apexes nicely and let the car run wide to get that good apex speed you have. And Arrow, by the looks of it, dealing very nicely with these corners indeed. And now into sector 3 we go. Tricky section here. Need to get these apexes right and get the racing line right. You need to open these corners as much as you can to get that good apex speed. And Arrow is doing really well so far. And now we're in this long straight. DRS will be enabled for around half of this straight, and then braking late for the penultimate corner of the lap. Very tricky hairpin actually, and very tricky to get the braking zone right. And now heading into the final corner, Arrow will be crossing the line to set a 131.7, which is a decent lap. Let's see, next one to cross our line is a Red Bull of Alcatraz, who puts in a 131.8 behind Arrow, just a 10th behind Arrow. We have an Alpine. I cannot switch them on time. Actually, he wasn't on a lap. And Alfa Romeo is on a lap though. That is Tinix. Tinix about to cross the line to set in a 131.9. These gaps currently very close. As Crumpets sets in a lap of a 132.0, Myths with a 132.1. I see a Haas approaching on the inters actually. Not sure if you're allowed to do that. But he sets in 137 on the inters. Aston Martin now goes into provisional pole with 131.3. We've got the two Ferraris very close to each other here. Is Ghost Rider and Pinax, the Ferrari duo, potentially helping each other a bit out by giving one of their drivers a tow, as Ghost Rider goes up to P6 and Pinax pits. So I think there was a tow there. Let's see, next driver to cross the line will be Verse in that long straight now. DRS wide open and just reaching the top speed, the highest speed of the track you'll get, and turning in for that hairpin. Acceleration is very, very crucial to that penultimate corner. They can gain a lot of time if you get it right. And then around the final corner, which can be tricky because you can get beats onto that curb. But Verse doesn't. He sets in a lap of a 131.9, good enough for P6. And he's just half a tenth behind Tinix, or Tixnix, in front of him. Let's take a look with Chris. Chris, after taking a break from racing due to some PC issues, is back now on the grid. Let's see what he can do in that wonderful looking Aston Martin. Heading into this very long straight now, just gonna have to wait until you approach the penultimate corner. Does have Ferrari in front of him, does have a lot of track in front of him. Hopefully they get out of the way just on time, but braking late now for the hairpin here. Goes for a slightly early turning there. I think that was a small mistake from Chris there. He's got his teammate getting out of the way there just on time, and now around the final corner Chris will go to set in a, what will it be? Crosses the line now and sets in a 132.3, good enough for P12. We've got Rehad about to cross the line. Skakarinos goes out in provisional pole with a 131.0. Rehad sets in a 132.4 for P14. We've got another driver out on track, I believe, or no? Then I actually just look at the chat. We've got Darkness cheering 300, whatever it's called. Boosty also cheering 100, whatever it's called. And Darkness cheering another 80. So yeah, definitely some big support for Phoenix here. Darkness and Webby. Let's see. Ah yeah, Bits, yes, that's the name, yeah, I forgot. Thank you very much. Yes, let's see. I don't think there is anyone out on a lap currently. Jake's not on a lap, he's invalidated. Even Chris is pitting. Rehad will be pitting this lap as well, I believe. He already did set a lap, slightly locking up there on his in lap. Oh, actually, we do have the bottom two drivers setting a lap. Got Matsubo in the McLaren, and Pinax, also Pinax doing a comeback after having a pretty long break from racing. Haven't seen him that often, but he is back now, so let's see what he can do. Matsuvo, sorry, in the McLaren. Let's see what he can do as he just finishes in the second sector of the lap. Into sector 3 we go, which is basically just this very long straight with a couple of tricky corners. Setups will also play a big role in this race here today. Wait, what is going on with the bits in the chat? I see 200 bits from Wobby McQueen and then 1 bits. And then another 100. Okay, well, I'm getting pretty lost here, to be honest. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then we have like another 500 bits for suffocating. But Matsuvo goes up into P3 actually. What a great lap. Let's see what Pinax can do. Oh, where did Pinax go? Pinax up to P11 with a 132.0. So not bad at all. And these gaps are certainly very close indeed. So we'll be up for a very exciting race here today. Yeah, Jacob, I agree with you. I'm also too poor for bits. I don't have money. But let's see. I think we've got Arrow on a lap who finds himself in that second row in 4th place. Let's see what he can do. Is he improving on his lap? He's just about to finish the second sector. We'll find out how much he'll be up or down on his personal best. He is actually 2/10 down on his personal best. So he'll need to absolutely nail this final sector if he wants to bring some improvement at least to his lap. However, it will be tricky since he doesn't have many corners so he can gain time. Let's see what Arrow can do in that Mercedes DRS, wide open, and now just waiting and approaching the penultimate corner, the tricky hairpin here. Hitting the apex nicely and using quite a bit of the exit there and accelerating onto the final corner. Let's see, has Arrow found extra time? Oh, actually has a spin out of the final corner. Luckily he gets away with it without getting damaged. He will need to be careful to not impede any other drivers though. We've got a Williams of Verse, that's him starting his lap now. A Ferrari of Ghost Rider starting his lap now. Let's see, is there anyone else on the lap? Mr. Bust actually goes up in P4, so great lap from him as well in that Alpine. Who else on lap? There's so many people out on a lap, I can't catch up with every single one of it. Yeah, there are even more bits in the chat. I'm very lost. I'm just gonna say thank you, Wobby, thank you, Suffocating, thank you also, Rico. And yes, that's everyone, I think, I hope. If I missed you, let me know. As now we actually have the Haas of D Heats going on to provisional pole with 21 thousandths of second gap to Kakarino's and Alfa Romeo behind him. So battle for pole position will certainly be very exciting, very close indeed. But let's see, I want to see, is there anyone else on lap? Myth's just starting his lap now. Arrow will be going for is not going for another attempt. Versus on lap, let's see what he can do. Actually he's flashing, so I think he's abandoned that lap. Ghost Rider is not flashing, however. Let's see what he can do. Ferrari driver, DRS wide open and heading into this hairpin with around a 330 kilometers an hour speed. And you can imagine how much G-forces the real F1 drivers go through when braking through that corner there. However, China gets cancelled most of the time on the real F1 calendar, as Ghost Rider gets slightly beats on that final curve there, but it is still enough to improve his lap, and that's enough for P6. A very good lap from him. Let's see, I think Chris is on a lap as well. He is 3/10 up on his personal best. That will be enough to put him up into P13, I believe, so that will be mass improvement. Has he found any extra time in this final? So he has a big snap at the final exit there, but has he still found time? Yes, he has, and Chris goes up into P13. Good lap from him as well. Certainly more lap time in it for him as well. I've never seen a driver who was ever happy with a qualifying lap, so yeah. Let's see now. I don't think we have anyone else on lap. We've got 5 minutes remaining in this session. I think Rehad's on the lap actually. Let's see what Rehad can do. Finds himself in final place currently. Last place. Ooh, has a bit of a snap. And that's definitely no ideal for his lap time. It will hurt his exit out of turn 2, that is, I think. And now heading to this other hairpin actually. Also tricky hairpin to get right. Really need to get the apex right in order to get a good exit here. Racing line is key through that corner there. And we had managing to take that corner pretty nicely as well. And here is really just about carrying the highest speed possible through this section here, sector 2. And this can be very tricky to put the traction down because of all these curbs, the bumps on the track that can unsettle your car while accelerating. Can be very tricky indeed. But Rehad, that sector 2 completes into sector 3. We go now. This is also a very difficult traction zone to get right. But I wonder, has he found time on his best lap? We'll have DRS to his aid through this long straight, and he'll be heading into the penultimate corner, braking late, getting that apex right. However, he does go a bit wide, manages to keep between track limits there. That definitely did hurt his lap time, but let's see, has he improved? No, he hasn't. He's spitting, and that is his lap basically over. So we've got every single driver in the pits except for a couple of people who are just on their out lap now to go out for their final runs, and this is going to be very close and very exciting as well, because we've got some very close gaps here. Ignore any background noises as well, please. My mic is pretty bad, but as you can see, the gaps are very close. The top at 13 are all within a second of each other, so that is absolutely incredible. And I'd be very surprised if I don't see every single one of the drivers coming out onto the final lap. Track evolution will be playing a big role as well now, since the more the session progresses, the grippier the track gets, the more lap time you can gain. No, Boosty, I don't agree that the Aston lineup is better. No lineup is better with you as a driver there. But let's see Mr. Bust starting his lap now. DRS wide open into the main straight we go, and we'll be turning into this long, very long right hand here. You really need to carry the highest speed possible and prepare to hit the apex right here where the sausage curbs are. And then the same here, you need to avoid touching that curb right there because it can unsettle your car, which Mr. Bust does absolutely spot on. And now we'll be heading into the end of sector 1 and into the first hairpin, first corner of sector 2. McLaren getting out of the way there nicely. Mr. Bust so far has actually managed to nail these corners quite nicely. I didn't see how much he was up, but we'll see soon as he's about to go around the final corners in sector 2. Getting very close to the apex. Brilliant apex, and again, and using the exit curve there. And is Mr. Bust up on his time? He is 3/10 up, and that will be good enough for the second row. Can he find more time for in this final sector to potentially put himself onto the front row? He does have a has. He gets out of the way, so he won't be getting a tow in this long straight. I'm surprised we haven't seen many teammates work together by giving each other a tow in this long straight. You can see how much traffic there is in front of him. Hopefully they get out of the way on time. You can see that's an Aston Martin definitely getting in the way there, and that is a Mercedes in front. That will give Mr. Bust a bit of dirty air. But Mr. Bust around the final corner he goes. Has he improved his lap? Yes, he has improved his lap. It's good enough for P3. However, the margin between him and the front row is more than 2/10, so that's a big gap. Martin is actually starting his lap now. Actually, I think he's forgotten to turn on his ERS. He is flashing, as you can see, so he hasn't enabled his ERS. Definitely not ideal. Or is he going for another outlap? Maybe. Let's see. We've got every driver out on track except for Rehad in that final place. Rehad will not have time to go out for another lap. I am not going to be able to catch up with all the action here. Let's see, I don't know who to spectate really. Arrow retires from the session, so he'll be not improving his lap time. We'll starting P5 at best. You have D-Heats currently on a lap, however he does have traffic in front of him. However, that McLaren is on a lap as well. I believe that McLaren definitely giving dirty air, but he will definitely be enjoying that big tow in this long straight here. Actually, no, the McLaren gets out of the way. Yeah, and that definitely did impede the Haas there. I'm not sure where D-Heats will be happy with that. Potentially has lost him a bit of time there as well. But DRS wide open for a provisional pole sitter at the moment. Can he improve his lap time? He did get impeded, but can he still maybe find extra time on this lap? Around the hairpin we go, accelerating nicely, getting the grip he wants to. And now as we're about to finish the final corner, Kakarines takes away the pole position by more than a tenth, but D-Heats beats that again and takes it back by setting a 30.7. That is an incredible lap for him. Verse goes up to P3 actually. Stripper Dave goes up to P5. Mr. Bust is in P6. Someone just improved. Ghost Rider actually goes up to P4. Great lap from him as well. Just about missing out on that third position there. Mr. Bust is not on a lap, and I think that is qualifying over. Sorry if I missed out on any action. It was really chaotic there. There's so many drivers out on track. I tried my best. But wow. A very exciting qualifying. D-Heats with the first pole position of the season in the Haas, and he's got Kakarines starting behind him for the race. They're very close to each other as well, so these two will definitely have a very good battle in the race, so I'm looking forward to it. Well then, here you have all of the results. Yeah. So these are the results then. The top 15 are all within a second. Crump is just about missing out to be within that 1 second margin by 1,000th of a second. But these are the results, and very, very competitive and close qualifying between many drivers all over the grid. So very excited to see what this race has in store for us now. Well then, let's see, we're about to start the race here. All the drivers will be fixing their strategies. Also, strategy will be a massive factor in this race, so I wonder what the strategy options will be from the drivers all around the grid. It will be very interesting to see, and as I said, it will play a big role as well. Who can get a good start? Hopefully we don't see any crashes, or too many crashes. But let's see, it will be a very tricky first couple of corners to keep out of the trouble, since someone can easily understeer, go into someone. So I really hope drivers will play it a bit safe on that first lap. So we'll be waiting around 1 more minute because of the 1 minute rule, so that every driver has a chance to change the necessary changes they need to make. But here we are for the first round in Season 8, 4 Tier 2 in Phoenix. The 5 lights are on and it's lights out, and away we go. It looks like a good start from D-Heats, as Verse has a drive-through penalty already, as D-Heats leads the way. Kakarinus down the inside into turn 1. Will Kakarinus win that battle for the first position? Yes, he does. D-Heats goes very wide. He's under pressure from Ghost Rider behind him. Ghost Rider around the outside now into turn 2. Can he make the move stick? No, just about. He has a spin. Verse, that's the Williams of Verse spinning out. He'll lose many positions. There's a Mercedes in the back that spun as well. Arrow and Verse, the 2 drivers to spin on the opening lap. So far, D-Heats went slightly wide there, and he's now been overtaken by Ghost Rider. Brilliant start from Ghost Rider to put it up into P2, gaining 2 positions, I believe, or 3 positions of the start. So an incredible start from him there. Let's see what if there's any racing action in the back here. Many drivers just very close to each other now on this first lap. They'll be looking to make the most out of this, as McLaren looking down the inside of the Alpine there. You see McLaren of Med very close to the Red Bull of Myths, almost pushing him along. Will Myths get past on this long straight here? Actually, just go back to bat for the lead, because Ghost Rider takes the lead away from Kakarinus. Kakarinus actually dropping back. What happened to Kakarinus? He is dropping back. I think he may have had a snap. No, he's actually lagging a bit. I think he's in his AI. Not sure. Might be some difficult for him, as Chris has retired from the session. What happened to Chris? Kakarinus has retired from the session as well. As Nick, what is going on? I think we may have a lobby restart. Yeah. Yes, it is a lobby restart, so that means that we will be right back. Bear with us while we wait. Right then, so welcome everyone. We are back after that restart. This time the screen does work. Oh, I see it is a bit. Me actually. Yeah, I do tend to have some problems with screening, or I don't even know why. But yes, we should be restarting now. And this time around we have 19 people in, and we were already up for a very chaotic start. A couple of spins, 2 spins actually, but many good battles, couple of people going wide, but obviously it's first lap, so it's understandable. But let's see, would be a different story this time around. As yes, here we are. Okay, so let's take a look. What will the strategy options be this time, since I guess some driver strategy options were revealed. So maybe they will try a different strategy to their rivals, but let's see how this start will go. Still waiting, still waiting. Should start any moment now. Right, here we are then. The 5 lights are on for the first round of Season 8 in Tier 2, and the lights are out, and away we go. This time around, it looks like a better start from Kakaroons than it was last time around. He managed to get ahead of it, of the Haas, but this time around, no, he hasn't. There's a spin in the back. That's Alcatraz who spawned in the Red Bull, and he's dropped down to the last place. Kakaroons this time around is not able to be in the lead after the first sector in the back. I think something has happened to Chris as well. Chris has spun out and he's lost from wing, and that brings out the virtual safety car. So let's immediately look at the strategy options. Oh, okay. So I think the majority is on mediums, then hards, and then softs. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, let's see. Let's see which one will work best for today's race. Top 3 are on the mediums, while 4th and 5th are on the hard, so they will have the disadvantage at the starting stages of their thing. Oh, what's happened? Kakarina's just teleported behind the Ghost Rider. Okay, and he's getting the position back. Oh, actually, we have restarted. And the Ghost Rider actually loses a position to Verse. Oh, as the Verse has spins and Ghost Rider spins as well. They're both off track. Ghost Rider has damage. What has happened to Verse? Does Verse have any damage? Verse, by the looks of it, seems to have no damage. However, that has caused a big mess in the back. You can see how many people are going down the inside, defending, going for a move, slightly tapping each other through the hairpin there. And in the back, that's someone who's gone wide. I think that's the Williams of Verse. Not ideal for Verse. You have a couple of drivers spitting for potentially a new front wing because of damage, as Arrow is now under pressure from the Red Bull and the Alpine of Mr. Bust behind him. Mr. Bust goes down the inside of the Red Bull and also overtakes Arrow because Arrow went slightly wide. There's small mistake from him there, but it is D-Heats with a 2.8 second gap to P2. Then we have Kakarinas with a 2.2 gap to P3, and then wow, that's basically how much mess Verse and Ghost Rider caught with their collision there. But this field here is very close. Mr. Bust 8/10 behind his teammate in P3. Good restart from him. That crash from Ghost Rider and Verse definitely helped him out there. And he will now potentially be wanting to work together with his teammate in P3. Myths hunting the two Alpines down right behind him. In the back, that's a McLaren of Matsuvo going down the inside of the Mercedes, and actually the other Mercedes comes back at him, and he's actually been overtaken now, I believe. However, we go 3 wide at the traction zone here. Bit of tapping with the Mercedes and the McLaren there, but they managed to do it better than what Ghost Rider and Verse did. And Matsuvo now gets past Blitz Hyper as well onto the softs. Obviously, he will be much quicker on that first stint, as braking very late, getting very close to each other. The Ferrari and the Mercedes now, but the Mercedes with the outside line gets the better traction and stays ahead of the Ferrari. Very interesting, very exciting restart so far. In the back, I think that is the Mercedes now getting past his teammate once again, and the Ferrari of Pinax looking to get involved. He almost gets squeezed, had to back out there for a second, but the Mercedes are defending together by the looks of it there. And now Pinax is being attacked by Tixnix, and Tixnix, can he make the move successfully stick? Pinax with the switchback on both of them, can he make it stick? No, he doesn't quite have the traction to do so, but it is now Tixnix fighting it out with Arrow. He's got the inside line as we head into the hairpin. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can. That inside line helping him to make that move successfully stick. Med now getting past Arrow and Pinax. Something happened to them. They're just switching places the entire so often, like, wow, incredible racing, and they managed to keep it clean as well. So definitely some very good racing by these drivers, and a lot of respect between them as well. There's a position change again. That's Pinax fighting it out with Arrow. They both go off track actually. And now it's the Red Wolf Alcatraz getting involved. Has a look down the inside. Pinax leaves the space for him as Arrow looks to get involved as well. Alcatraz on those softs will have the better grip at the starting stages of his stint. Can he get past him in this long straight with that slipstream? He is gaining inside the slipstream, gaining even more, pulls alongside and will easily make the move stick on Pinax, and Pinax has now been overtaken by Arrow. Arrow now around the outside of Alcatraz. Arrow goes very deep into the corner, and now he's been overtaken by Pinax once again. I think that's the Williams going slightly wide there of Verse once again, or Crumpets. But Arrow going wide in the corner and losing 2 positions. As now the Williams of Crumpets looking to get past the Mercedes of Arrow. He's got the inside line for turn 1. Going down the inside, has just enough space given to Crumpets, and with that inside line they do make a bit of contact, but I think Crumpets has made the move successfully stick and goes up into P12 now. Incredible racing so far. Pinax still very close to Alcatraz despite being on that harder compound. Very interesting racing so far. Someone has spit, I think that's Reverse has spit, and there's a yellow flag. No yellow flag, I think that was just a bit weird. But the two Alpines still cruising together, looking to hunt down the leaders. However, Kakarina's is slightly pulling away from them. This time around, Mr. Bust is very close to his teammate, so he might potentially be overtaking his teammate. He will definitely be overtaking his teammate. He will have DRS to help him overtake his teammate as well. His teammate has pulled to the right hand side of the track to let him through, as you can see, and that is Mr. Bust going up into P3. Good teamwork by the two Alpines, as Myths is now under small pressure from the McLaren behind him. In the back, that's the AlphaTauri of Med going down the inside of Tixnix and does make that move successfully stick. They do a bit of wheel banging, but nothing too much to be involved in a big crash, and Med goes up into P8. Brilliant move from him in the back. You can see Pinax who will be under massive pressure from the Red Wolf Alcatraz. Will Alcatraz look to go for a move down into turn 1? I don't think he's close enough. Will he go down the inside though? He does get very close to him, but no, he does not go down the inside. Pinax covers it off nicely, but Alcatraz almost pushing him along through this section of the track, as he does struggle a bit to get the traction down in that dirty air of Pinax in front of him. Let's go back to this train here. You can see they're all basically glued together here. It's Myths leading this train on the hard tires. He will be very slow. Everyone behind him is on better tires except for Tixnix. But the drivers behind him will have the advantage over him. Matsu was slightly struggling through that section. They're losing a bit of time. He's got Blitz Hyper very close to his car now, but Blitz Hyper not close enough to go for a move yet. I think they're all just patiently waiting to go for it in this long straight with that DRS. Is Matsuvo close enough to go for a move on Myths in front of him? On this long straight, the gap is 8 tenths. I don't think that will be enough. However, Blitz and Med are certainly close enough to go for a move here. You can see they are going 3 wide into this long straight here. Med actually pulls back and goes follows the normal line, but Blitz with that inside line makes the move successfully stick, and 3 wide again almost. They do make contact, Med and Matsuvo, but Med does manage to get past Matsuvo. Med goes up into P7. Matsuvo drops down 2 positions in that straight. But this battling has lost him a lot of time. You can see Blitz did not have the DRS to Myths in front of him. Can he get closer to him though on this lap and get within? There's already within a second, so he has done so. He just needs to keep the gap consistent. Matsuvo is actually struggling on those softs now. Potentially those softs struggling to grip. They've reached their tire life, and he's now being overtaken by Tixnix as well in the Alfa Romeo. Oh, will make a bit of contact, but they get away with spinning on that straight there, and Matsuvo stays in front of the Alfa Romeo. There is a yellow flag. I think that is Chris, who has had a spin out of the final corner. What has happened to Kakarinus? Kakarinus has had a spin, and Kakarinus has dropped down all the way down to P9. He's dropped from P2 to P9. That is big disaster for Kakarinus there. He was even gaining on the leader slowly, but really catching up to him, as there's a Mercedes who spun. I think that's Blitz Hyper who has spun out of the exit before the long straight. He has spun, and it has cost him a lot of time. You can see he's now behind his teammate as there's more battling. That's Rihad going for a move on Kakarina's. Kakarina's, after that spin, his tires, I believe, will be a bit hot. They will struggle to grip slightly, but Kakarina's, with that exit, with that better line, he took go after better exit. However, he does pull away from it as Rihad almost, I think, did get beast onto the curb, but Kakarina's has the DRS, will get back at Rihad, moves alongside him, and down the inside he goes into turn 1, gets back into P7. Pinax looking to get involved in this battle as well. The AlphaTauri carrying a very deep, not deep, very tight line to the first corner. Can Pinax get a better exit? Kakarina struggles on his exit. That gives the opportunity to Rihad to get back past him. They're alongside, fighting it out once again. Into the hairpin we go. The Alfa Romeo has the inside line. They go side by side through the hairpin, but it's Rihad with that outside line who gets the better exit and is now back ahead into P7 ahead of Kakarina's. Pinax still just waiting behind this pack to take every opportunity he gets. As this is a very tight field currently. Actually, what happened to Myth? Myth was leading. I think he made a mistake. He's down into P13. I completely missed that. And he's now fighting with Arrow. Very, very interesting. Very action-packed grid currently. And the long DRS. As Martin retires, does that bring out the safety car? Yes, it does bring out the safety car. You can see Martin has lost it on the exit and just lost into the wall. That puts him out of the race. And the safety car has come out. Who will pit? The soft runners are definitely pitting. D-Heats, I think, missed his opportunity to pit. The two Alpines are pitting as well. They have a sufficient gap to not lose any places despite double stacking. Med is pitting as well. So many drivers will be pitting. The Alfa Romeo of Tixix on those hards will stay out. He will have a massive disadvantage to the drivers, to the other drivers. You can see everyone has pitted except for D-Heat and Tixnix. Wow. Wow. Well, busy pit lane for now. You can see the Alpine rejoin the track in P3 and Mr. Bust will rejoin in 4th place. Very interesting. Many double stacks for many teams, so a couple of drivers might have lost a couple of positions in the pits because of that double stack. So yeah, wow. This will be very... This safety car has changed the entire race. Many people actually pitting onto the hards, a couple of people onto the mediums. I think those hards can definitely make it until the end of the race, so that was probably the right decision. But the question is, will we get any more safety cars? Was it a mistake from the top 2 to stay out on those tires? We'll have to see how the race turns out. But they will have a massive disadvantage to the drivers behind them. The Alpines are in the prime, best position possible to overtake them. They might even be sitting in 1st and 2nd place after a couple of laps after the restart. They'll be flying on those fresher and newer tires. So definitely a couple of position changes under the pit stops. Oh, what's happened? D-Hits pits. Yeah, D-Hits pits from the lead. He is lucky that the entire pack behind him hasn't caught up, but it would have been better for him to pit on the previous lap. I think may have just missed out on it. But how many positions will he lose? You can see the entire train is catching up to him. He's been overtaken by this entire train pretty much, and that will be a massive disadvantage for him. He will rejoin in 11th place, from 1st to 11th place. Very, very interesting. This is great news for the Alpine team here. They will definitely be very happy with the heat splitting. That's a car less they need to overtake, and they can work together now to overtake Tixnix. So definitely really good news. Mr. Bust on those fresh mediums will be absolutely flying at the start of his stint. What's going on, chat? Why are you guys so inactive? A bit of hype? No one a bit of hype? Well, and we're still waiting for the field to bunch up again. Chris is still the only driver who needs to catch up, so I think we will be getting another lap behind the safety car, unfortunately. But another lap behind the safety car is definitely helping out those medium runners who have a long stint ahead of them. Need to use less of their tires, one lap less. They need to use their tires. So let's see. As you can see, one more lap behind the safety car. And the entire field has bunched up again, so we should be restarting this lap. I'll be very surprised if we don't. But it will be Tixnix who will be restarting the entire field behind him on those old hards. He's got every single driver behind him on a fresh tire compound, so he will find himself in a very tricky situation. The Alpines, if they want to work together and also defend from the drivers behind them, really need to tactically overtake him, so they can both basically overtake him at the same time. But let's see. There we go. Safety car in this lap. They will have the entire long straight to warm up their tires if they need to. Well, this will be a very interesting restart. How fast can the drivers behind get past Tixnix? Tixnix will definitely have a very long train behind him with drivers on a new compound. But you can see safety car is pulling off into the distance to enter the pits. The drivers may restart when the safety car has entered the pits. So they're still pretty close to the safety car. It will be Tixnix restarting the field behind him. You have Stripper Dave very close to him, and he has already restarted. It's a very poor restart from Mr. Bust. He was just completely caught napping, but Stripper Dave is in that slipstream of Tixnix, pulls down the inside into turn 1. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can make the move stick on that fresher compound. He's just got so much more grip, and it's already an Alpine into the lead of the race. Mr. Bust is now looking to overtake the Alfa Romeo. He goes around the outside with those fresher tires. Now almost pushing him along, almost hitting him, but will he go for a move into the hairpin? Mr. Bust is very close to Tixnix. Will he pull down the inside? No, he doesn't. He stays back, almost touches him on the braking aid. He does touch him on the braking actually, and not able to get past Tixnix yet. His teammate has already pulled off into the distance. The gap is already 1.1 seconds. Mr. Bust still waiting behind the Alfa Romeo, not going for a move yet. Oh, you can see he gets a lot better traction compared to the Alfa Romeo there, but it's very tricky to go for a move there. But now he will go for it. No, he still doesn't go for it. I wonder, is he just doing this on purpose to let his teammate pull away and hold the other drivers behind him, but with much better traction? Actually, Ooh, he did get much better traction, but Tixnix just closed the door there. But now he will pull alongside, side by side now, and potentially ahead after the hairpin. As yes, Mr. Boss has done it, and the off tire of Med, it has done as well, but Med goes down the inside of Mr. Bust, who can get the better exit. They're still side by side, heading into the final corner. Mr. Bust has that inside line. Will they go side by side in the final corner? Yes, they do, and they manage to keep it clean, but Mr. Bust still side by side. Surprisingly, the other off tire looking to get involved as well. Alfa Romeo now being passed by Rehad, the other off tire. Mr. Bust around the outside on those softer tires. Can he make the move? Stake on Med around the outside that turns down into the inside for turn 2. And yes, Mr. Bust stays ahead. His teammate is 3 seconds ahead now with these guys battling. So that is definitely good news for Dave in that first place. However, Med will go for it again. No, he has a look but backs out of it. Tinix has already been passed by his teammate as well, and he's now under pressure from Rehad. Rehad actually lost the position to Kakarinas as well. So I wonder, did the Alfa Romeos work together to let Kakarinas through? Ooh, Tixnix does go slightly wide there, and that will affect his exit massively. There's a yellow flag. That is Ghost Rider, who has spun out, and he has lost some bits of his front wing there. Not sure what that is. As Pinax now makes a move 4p6 past Tixnix, and he will be in that section of Rehad in front. Can potentially go for a move in this hairpin after this long straight. You can see he is rapidly gaining on the Aftari. Will he go for it? Yes, he does. He pulls alongside down the inside, braking late. Does barely make the corner. He does not make the corner at all. He goes very wide. Rehad is pushed off track as well. He's still in position to Baturbo and Tixnix once again, and they actually, Rehad touches the McLaren, and Rehad goes into the wall. And he has retired from the race. The safety car is out again. It's an Alpine 1-2. Big crash right there. Wow. That is a massive crash. I wonder, will anyone pit with a safety car? I think if you pit onto the mediums, you can make him to the until the end of the race now. But I'd be honestly very surprised if someone does pit, especially the hard runners. But that was a massive crash for Rehad there. Let's see, will anyone pit? They're about to, and we're about to approach the pit lane here. As the Alpine does not pit, will Mr. Bust pit? No, he does not. Neither does the Alfa Romeo, neither does the AlphaTauri, Ferrari, neither, and the Alfa Romeo of Tixnix does understandably pit, and so does Crumpet and Alcatraz. As Jakes has retired in the pits. Did he do a Hamilton? He may have done a Hamilton at the pit entry there. I think he has done a Hamilton. That's no idea. He's out of the race. Well, we do have 5 drivers pitting. And these drivers will definitely have the advantage at the end of the race compared to the drivers that didn't pit, but most of the grid has stayed as it was before the safety car came out. as we are once again just waiting for the safety car to come in. We just are in half race distance now, so we still got 14 laps remaining in this race. However, we did have around 3 laps behind the safety car. Hopefully this is the last safety car. I am not in the mood to be waiting any longer. But we'll see what can the drivers make out of this situation. Now we have 6 drivers who are on new fresh tires, when the rest of the field is actually on older tires. Is it just me, or is the chat just not saying anything? I think it may be bugged for me, because we have 27 viewers now. So I'll be very surprised if no one's saying anything in chat. I think it's bugged. For me, probably. Very weird. I was wondering, I know I was saying anything. Is this race that boring? Am I that such a boring commentator? Well, I think this should be the last lap under the safety car. I hope. There you go, safety car in this lap. This time around, it will be Dave restarting the field. It's an Alpine 1-2. Can they keep it like this until the end of the race? We'll have to see. Right then, so we're about to restart the race here, about to go around the penultimate corner with Dave. Dave on those hards, he's got his teammate behind him on the medium, so I think Mr. Bot will have the early advantage. But will they do a coordinated restart so both Alpines can get a good restart? By the looks of it, they kind of did, because the two Alpines already 6 tenths in front of Kakarines. Kakarines behind them is on 8 lap old hard, so he will have a slight disadvantage to Mr. Bust in front of him for the moment being. In the back, that's D-Heats making a move in the McLaren. He does go over the social curb, that will massively unsettle his car, but D-Heats goes around the outside now, and is he ahead? I cannot see it. No, he's not ahead. Matsuvo stays in front of him as D-Heats looks to go around the outside now into the hairpin. No, the McLaren breaks later and stays ahead. Oh, I see he gets spun out. Yes, he does get spun out, and Mitch gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with D-Heats, as there was definitely a front wing piece flying off. There was that D-Heats front wing. No, I don't think it was. I believe that might have been Mitch's damage. I can barely see anything from this angle. Yeah, Mitch definitely does have damage. He's going very slowly. But Alpines are still leading the way. They do have Kakarina's half a second behind them. And then we have Med almost a second behind this pack. In the back, that is Verse making a move on Chris, I think that was. And it does make that move successfully stick. Oh, here goes Kakarina's on Mr. Bust. Kakarina's looking to go around the outside hairpin. Bust has that inside line. However, Kakarina's goes onto that exit curve that will slightly affect his exit. But Mr. Bust is still side by side. Does he concede the position? Yes, he does. Kakarina's does go off track, so will he need to give the position back? As an illegal overtake, he may need to do it. but Mr. Bust will go down the inside. Again, no, he doesn't. He did have a look, but it doesn't quite go for it. He did not really hold up Kakarinas as much as he could to allow at least his teammate to have the comfortable gap, as Crumpets makes a move on the Mercedes of Arrow, and that Crumpets up into P8 as Myths retires into the pits after that crash, deciding to give up the race as Crumpets goes down the inside of Pinex now. That is a very late move, but Pinex has the better exit and stays ahead. Crumpets now under pressure from Arrow. Arrow is right on his gear. Oh, they do slightly touch in the high speed section. However, Arrow not close enough to go for a move yet, as Alcatraz in the back is close enough to go for a move. He has overtaken Tixnix, and now Tixnix is under pressure from Verse. They make a lot of contact, they almost spin out. However, they do keep it on track. They make even more contact as they rejoin the track 3 wide, as Chris just overtakes 3 drivers on that straight there. And Chris goes up into P11. Alcatraz has gone off track and he's retired, and that is another safety car. A very, very dramatic restart. Yeah. Wow. I was not expecting that at all. They did make a lot of contact in that and the end of that second sector. They're all off track. Chris just flew past. Through goes Chris. But yeah. Wow. It's Alcatraz out. You can see everyone is spitting. No surprise. However, one person that's saying out is Crumpets. Crumpets will be in the lead of the race. Crumpets has that softer tires as well. They are barely used since they were behind the safety car. You see Chris goes up into P2 as well, and so does Verse. It's a Williams first and third double podium as it stands now. Oh, that is... Oh, we are up for a very spicy end to this race here now. D-Heats, oh sorry, yeah, D-Heats did pit. Oh, this will be very, very spicy. You can see Mr. Bust actually lost 3 places under that pit stop because Alpine double stacked. That is massive. That is a big amount. That will also definitely influence his race result. He was right behind Kakarinas. Now he's got 3 cars pitting him and Kakarinas. Well then, it's the 3rd safety car of the race, and we'll have to wait once again. There are 14 drivers remaining in this race, 5 of them retired from this race because of crashes, except for Myths. And I'm pretty sure Myths will be already regretting that decision, since he could have been back in the race with this safety car. I think we should have another lap behind the safety car, hopefully, and we can get back to racing after that. So we've got the soft runners, the medium runners. It's basically a 50-50 split as a Ferrari pits. That's the Ferrari of Pineax. Did he pick up any damage? I think he should have maybe picked up damage. No, he doesn't. He actually pits to go onto another set of soft, so he just wants them even more fresh than the other drivers in front of him. He had nothing to lose. I think he was sitting in last place anyway, so why not pit for another set of softs that are less used? Might as well take that advantage, which is pretty smart from Pineax. But it's a Williams double podium as it stands now. They will be under a massive pressure from the drivers behind them. I think Dave is in the best position possible to win this race. He does have a rapid Kakarinas right behind him, so I think it's a matter of when can they get past the top 3. And the top three, the race for the top three has definitely had a big turn. They were sitting out of the points, I believe, all three of them, or are like at least fighting for a couple of points, and now they find themselves in first, second, and third. So yeah, I mean, pitting under that second safety car definitely helped them out. And you can see safety car in this lap this time around. It will be Crumpets restarting the field behind him. Can he get a good restart from Chris? Or can Chris get a good, better restart of him and potentially overtake him in the first sector? You can see Crumpets weaving to get temperature in his tires, wanting to get the best restart he possibly can get. And when will he restart? I think he has already restarted. Yes, he has. No, he has not. He pulls back again. No, he has restarted though, and Chris hasn't gotten the best of restarts yet. He is 4 tenths behind him. He has the Crumpets teammate right behind him. However, it's not close enough to go for a move. I think Mr. Bust is very close to the Mercedes to go for a move. Can he make a move in this long right-hander? No, he's not close enough to go for it yet. Is there anyone else fighting it out for a couple of positions? No. Med, however, does have a big gap in front of him. I'm not sure what happened there. Potentially a bad restart from Med, which caused him to drop back. As Chris is definitely very close to Crumpets in this section of the track. I think Crumpets is just really slowing everyone down. The top 5 are all within almost a second to each other, and they can actually, the top 3 can actually work together to defend from the rapid, fresh tire drivers behind them. So I wonder if they will probably try to do something like that. But we head onto the long straight now. Chris will have a big tow from the Williams in front of him. Will he go for a move? He is definitely looking to go for a move. He is using his ERS and he's diving. He has dived into that slipstream, pulls alongside. Crumpets defends the inside line, but Chris brakes late around the outside. He's just so much better on the braking, and Chris has made the move for the race lead, and he's already half a second in front of Crumpets. Can Chris maybe go on and win this race? The 2 Williams are now in second and third. That's Crumpets gets a 3-second penalty. That's definitely not what he wants. Chris is leading the race by 3 tenths. Crumpets the first driver to fall victim of track limits, as in the back, I think that's Mr. Bust, or no, sorry, that's D-Heat fighting with Arrow for P11. D-Heats around the outside, makes that move successfully stick. Very nice move from him, puts himself up into P11. He's got 1.7 gap to the next driver ahead of him, as that's the McLaren of Matsuvo, who goes down the inside of Med. Can he make the move stick? Who can get a better exit? They're very equally matched in the exit, but Med does have the inside line, slightly squeezes Med, and slightly squeezes Matsuvo, as, oh, that's the Alpine's Dave potentially made a mistake that section, as he's almost squeezing the McLaren out of the track. In the back, that's the Ferrari of Ghost Rider under pressure from Mr. Bust behind. Mr. Bust really looking to overtake him. Ooh, almost makes contact on the braking there. Potentially a small tap there. But wow, this is good. Getting very close. Chris is pulling away with it. He's got an almost 1 second gap to P2 behind, and the gap is now more than a second. Chris maybe winning this race here potentially. Kakarinus is making a move on the Verse. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can potentially with that inside line. Verse will have to pull out of it, and so he does. And Kakarinus is up into the podium positions now. He does have 2 more drivers he needs to pass to win this race. Can he do it on time? There are 6 laps remaining in this race now. We are up for a very exciting end to this race here. This will be very close between these drivers. Can Chris win this race? That is the question. He does have crumpets. Well, actually, I wonder, will Chris try to do a Carlos Sainz strategy and give crumpets DRS so he can defend from Kakarina? So it will be tricky since you have plenty of other overtake opportunities on this track than what it was in Singapore. But Med up into P5 on those softs has Verse right in front of him now. Where can he get past them? You can see Kakarinas has also closed up to Crumpets by quite a big amount, and he'll definitely be looking to overtake Crumpets in that main straight. And he does have a decent amount of VRS to his use as well. But the entire field is so close. Everyone is basically within a second of each other. When DRS gets enabled, they'll be fighting really hard. Let's see, Skakarinius, will he go for the move? Yes, he does. With that slipstream, he gets that extra top line speed, and he does get past Crumpets quite comfortably. And Skakarinius will start to hunt down Chris for the race win. Can he do it though? Chris has Kakarina's already within a second to Chris, and something happened to Blitz. Blitz losing many positions actually, as you can see here. That's a oh! What has happened? The McLaren just turning in, and the safety car has been deployed. Oh wow! What happened there? That was a massive crash. The 4th safety car of this race. But wow, I was not expecting to see that. That was a massive crash. How did that happen? It looked like Matsuo just turned into the wall or something, but may have been lagged. But that is a really weird crash. Wow. Well, in one pit, I would be very surprised if the medium runners, the Chris and the 2 Williams, now pit, since they will basically give up their advantage. They'll be in the last place. They can better use this AC, their advantage. They'll have extra couple of laps where they can just relax a bit and not be under pressure by being overtaken to the guys behind. But Chris, it didn't go well for him at the start of the race. He spun out, I think, and lost a strong wing. And now he finds himself into the lead in the lead of this race with 5 more laps to go in this race. Wow, this race has taken a big turn with all these safety cars. And yes, the chat is definitely bugged for me. I can still see 0 people messaging things, so if you think I'm ignoring you, it's just that it's bugged. So I'm not ignoring anyone. Don't worry about that. I would never do such a thing. Oh, we do have 1 Williams pitting. Actually, we do have a couple of drivers pitting. They were in the lower positions though. Crumpets is pitting versus Mr. Bust, Arrow, Pineaxe. All of them are pitting onto, I would be very surprised, onto potentially a set of soft tires. Very interesting, and it's a double stack for the Williams. Oh, what's going on? Oh, that was just lag, I think. Yes, it was. As Verst did lose all the positions because of that double stack. He finds himself in final place now. But Chris is in the lead of this race on 10-lap old mediums. Can he defend from Kakarinas for the lead of the race? Chris needs to defend like a lion to win this race. Kakarinas is on younger tires. He'll have a big advantage. Those 4-lap younger tires can be a can have a big difference, grip difference, sorry. But wow, what an end to this race this will be. Well, the safety car will not come in this lap, so that's definitely the best news Chris could get. He'll have one lap less of where he can be put under pressure from Kakarinas behind him to be overtaken. And I think that means we're going to restart on lap 26. We'll have 3 laps of racing. Is that enough for Chris to win the race? I believe we will have DRS on that final lap, so that is a bit less good news for Chris, but he can still defend as much as he wants to. And don't forget, Med is on softs as well, so he can potentially be pressurizing Kakarinas here, and Kakarinas and Med having a battle, Chris pulling away with it. That would be incredible scenes to watch. Chris after his massive comeback to win his first race in Phoenix after coming back. That would be a return in fashion. He's got the number 95 as well in his car from Lightning McQueen. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this race will turn out. I hope it won't be bad news for any driver, and I hope it will be clean racing. From 8th place and below, those guys will be absolutely flying on those fresh set of softs. And we cannot get any more safety cars since that window has been passed now, so it will be 3 laps of racing action. Chris needs to get a good restart in order to have that control gap, a bit of a gap to defend himself, and a bit more time he can buy himself from being overtaken. As safety car should come in this lap. There you go, safety car in this lap. Chris restarting the field after being last for the first half of this race. Can he win this race for Aston Martin, or can Kakarinas or Med or potentially someone else win this race? It will be very, very close. We'll have 3 laps of racing action. Who will be the one to come out on top to win the season opener in Season 8 for Tier 2 in Phoenix? Will it be Chris? Will it be Kakarinas? Will it be Med? Or will it be someone else? In whose way will this race go? You can see Chris is leaving a massive gap to him and the safety car. He wants to use it in order to get a good restart of the drivers behind him. And you can see he's weaving as well to get temperature in, really holding up the pack actually. Hopefully don't get into a collision or something. We have 12 drivers remaining in this race, so curious to see what will happen. There we go, Chris has restarted now, and it's a pretty good restart for Chris. However, Kakarinas did massively catch up after that hairpin. He's already almost within half a second of Chris now, and Chris will cross the line to start lap 26. We'll have 3 laps of racing. Chris has Kakarinas right in his slipstream, and Kakarinas will be closing up rapidly. Can Chris defend well? No, he has left the door open. Will Kakarinas go for it here? No, he does not go for it. Did have a look, almost went for it, but Chris had it just about covered. Kakarinas with a much better exit on that better tire is rapidly closing up. Will he go for it into the hairpin? I don't think it's close enough. He has a look that Chris closes that door and does not allow him to get past him. Chris will need to defend for his life. Kakarinas already putting him under massive pressure. Wow, this is incredible racing. You can see how much Kakarinas is closing up on that fresher tire to Chris. He's got 4 laps, younger tires. Oh, Chris has a bit of a moment out of the exit there, and Kakarinas I think will go for it down the inside. No, Chris defends the inside. Something has happened in the back. That's Arrow who's been spun out, but Chris has it covered. He defends. He really does defend. Shoulders out for Chris here now, and Kakarinas is right in his slipstream. Got a better exit as well. He will potentially be getting past. Chris went onto the curb. I think he got slightly beats there, but they are now in a drag race all the way up to the hairpin, the penultimate corner. By the way, Chris, by the looks of it, Chris is winning. Oh, Chris looked to move down the inside to cover it. As no, they make contact as Chris is ghosted, but Kakarinas is still there. They go side by side, and Kakarinas I think is ahead. Yes, he is ahead. Can Chris come back at him? He's used all of his ERS already. Med behind Chris is getting past him. Chris has nothing to defend with. He's used all of his ERS. Med is now behind Kakarina's, looking to overtake as Chris makes contact with Med, and Chris has spun out. All his chances for a win or a podium have slipped from his hands. It's dropped down to P11. It's Kakarina's leading the way now. Mid in P2, Dave in P3, Ghost Rider in P4 will be the one now to come. Will be the one to come to win this race, as Pineax makes a move for P8 and overtakes versus Crumpets now with a move on Tixnix for P6. Can Crumpets make it stick? Yes, he can just about. They do a bit of wheel banging though, but Crumpets has made the move stick. D-Heat's looking to go down the inside of Verse, makes that move stick. Kakarina's leading this race, then Med 9/10 behind him. I think Med's tires will have died off. Kakarina's will have the grip advantage to Med behind, but can Med profit from a potential mistake from Kakarina's, as we see Mr. Buzz going for a move down the inside of Ghost Rider that turns for the outside for the next corner, but he does have the better grip on those softer tires and does make the move stick with that better traction he gets. He does now have his teammate on 9-lap old mediums. Will we see team orders here from the two teammates? Mr. Bust pulling alongside now, and his teammate with the inside line. I think, yes, we do see team orders from the Alpine team, and that's Mr. Bust up into P3. We will have one more lap of racing action. You can see Med has caught up to Kakarina's here. DRS will be enabled on this final lap. Mr. Bust at 1.2 seconds behind on the fresh news, on the fresh soft tire compound. He will be much quicker to the leaders, but can Med, is the gap sufficient enough for the leaders to be safe from any potential threat from Mr. Bust for the race win? And is Med close enough to overtake Kakarina's for the race win? They're all pushing like hell, and with 2 more sectors to go in this race, we still are not sure who will be winning this race. Will it be Kakarina's? Will it be Med? Can it be Mr. Bust? Mr. Bust, it will be rapidly closing up in this high-speed tech section, the section that requires a lot of grip, and he does have that grip with those new soft tires. You can see how much is already closed up to Med. Is he close enough to make a move on Med? Is he close enough to overtake Kakarina's potentially at the end of this lap? He is rapidly gaining. He is about to enter the final straight of the lap, the final straight of the race, tapping Med along with him, and they will both have the DRS on Kakarina's in front of them with this massive straight. Can they get close enough to overtake Kakarina's? They're all of them so low on ERS. But Med is rapidly gaining. He's in that slipstream. He's gaining with the DRS. Gaining in that slipstream. Pulls alongside, around the outside in the hairpin. This is for the race win as Kakarina's goes very wide. Mr. Bust hits Med. They're all fighting it out. Mr. Bust is hit by Kakarina's. Kakarina's has gone off track. He's lost so many positions. But by the looks of it, it will be Med who will win the race. The season opener Phoenix. He wins that race. Mr. Bust in second place. Ghost Rider finishes on the podium. Dave in P4. Wow, what a race. Oh, wow. That was an incredible race. I wonder, will it be looked at any potential contacts? Can the race win maybe turn into someone else's hands with potential contact by other drivers? It might. Oh wow, but it did get a bit messy in that final hairpin there, but it is Med who finishes on top with Mr. Bust in P2 and Ghost Rider out of nowhere in P3. Definitely did not expect that, but that mess in front of him and Chris spinning out definitely helped Ghost Rider to get that podium for Ferrari. Brilliant result, action-packed race, incredible race. These are the race results, and what an exciting race. Wow, very exciting. And actually Med went for P19 all the way to first place. He did a last to first. Incredible stuff for Med. Definitely those safeguards did definitely mix things quite a bit. But Med last to first. GG's to him. I'll try to get Med in for some interviews, hopefully. Let's see. We are very close to the tier 1 briefing though, so I'll be only able to do one interview, unfortunately. Don't see Med joining in for an interview, so yeah, it's very close to tier 1 briefing. So I guess I will be stopping the stream here. Make sure to check out tier 1, which should be live in around 20 minutes, and hope you all enjoyed this race. I definitely did enjoy the commentating this race. Incredible race. I hope I see you guys in tier 1, and see you soon.